I hit a wall. I never felt so low.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back. We thank you for joining us once again here on the Completely Shelf channel for our 18-part mini-series, The Road
to Infinity.
No, not The Road to the Multiverse. Yes, The Road to the Infinity War. Yes, not The Road to Multiverse. I'm thinking of the Family Guy episode. I don't know why. This is The Road to the Avengers Infinity War, brought to you in part by Zephyr Hills Water. No, I'm just kidding. We're not giving any shameless plugs today. We're just providing fine reviews of fine films from the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Hey,
leading
if
up.
Zephyr Hills wants to sponsor us,
Hey, come at us, bro.
we are here, yeah.
But no, we're here to discuss the next installment in the chronological order that is the Marvel Cinematic Universe, leading up to May 4th, 2018, and that is the Avengers Infinity War, which will be the 18th film in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Today we discuss film number 7, Iron Man 3, released on May the 3rd of 2013. And it is all very apropos with the number 3 involved, I think. Again, it's the third Iron Man film released on May 3rd. 13. I'm stretching on that one, I know. But we once again see Tony Stark dealing with his own demons. This one is directed and written in part by Shane Black. Also starring who else but Robert Downey Jr., Gwyneth Paltrow. Don Cheadle reprises his role as Colonel James Rhodes, so no third different Rhodey in this installment.
Thank goodness.
Happy Hogan returns. Of course, Paul Bettany still is the voice of Jarvis. But welcome in Guy Pearce and Sir Ben Kingsley, a British knight, finally getting his hands on the Marvel Cinematic Universe. It was, I think it was Queen Elizabeth who made a decree that we must have a British knight now in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. No, that's not it. That's
Doesn't hurt.
probably not too far from the truth. When it was reviewed many, many moons ago, it does not feel like it was 5 years ago, but when it was out in the theaters, it did receive a certified fresh rating from Rotten Tomatoes, an 80% aggregate score of all the reviews out there, rating this third installment of the Iron Man film series. The action finds itself on another level as it continues to push the envelope on action and adventure movies. But I have to say, when looking back on this film, despite the fact that you want to call it an action or a sci-fi film, there was a heck of a lot of comedy going on in Iron Man number 3. It felt very buddy-buddy in terms of how comfortable you might have felt with your characters.
Yeah, it was definitely a Shane Black film. I recently went back and watched Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, which has been on my list to watch ever since I saw Iron Man 3. And I love how he plays with the framing device of the story.
Yes.
But how about we get into plot and then we can talk about things we like?
Yes. So the Cliff Notes version, Tony Stark wants to keep making the Iron Man costume better. My gosh, it seems so. That seems like such a downplay of what it is. It is a super suit of sorts. Maybe it's because I just watched The Incredibles 2 days ago, and I'm still wondering, where is my super suit?
At least it doesn't have a cape.
No, it does not have a cape. Thank you, Edna. But I think one of the first few scenes in the film is the testing scene for Mark 42, as it's now called, or the newest iteration, where all you see is Tony just injecting himself. And you're just like, what on earth? And Jarvis is like, please, sir, don't do this. You've been up for 72 hours. No, this isn't the Cliff Notes version. I'm sorry. The Cliff Notes version. Iron Man tries to save the day. Somebody kidnaps Pepper. Lava people, Mandarin threatening the history of the whole human civilization. And Rhodey's pissed off because he doesn't have a cool suit. The end.
Oh, and Guy Pearce and the president of the United States and
Lava
people
people
falling out of an airplane.
Oh, yeah. Let's go ahead and expand on that. So People are
Hey,
falling out of Air
Why,
Force
why,
One.
why don't we just go right into the things we like? Because I think we'll just, that's what we're going to talk about. There's a lot in this film, but I
Yes.
think there's a lot we like, and I think we'll hit a lot of the plot as we do that. So, things we like.
Again, the pushing of the envelope, that is the action sequences. I kind of mentioned to it. It's certainly one of the most hair-raising sort of takes on what Tony Stark can do as Iron Man, saving the day and keeping everyone safe and sound as best he can. So that was certainly a plus. The portrayal of Ben Kingsley as this terrorist of the Mandarin, kind of just as a face, because he's really not the one making all these moves when it comes out that it is really Guy Pearce, the man pushing all the buttons and pulling all the strings and such. But yeah, Iron Man going in and saving everyone on Air Force One was certainly a plus. The weird thing is that it opened. I mean, I wouldn't say it happened. Sort of minutes or weeks after, but for some reason there was this worry about folks looking at this film after the Boston Marathon bombings have happened and just kind of be like, well, I think it's too soon. Why are you putting out terrorist movies or movies involving terrorists so soon? It just seems a little much. But I think it did kind of, more than anything, kind of ring true to the fact that we need someone to defend us more than anything else. I don't think, I'm not saying in 2018 we do need an Iron Man in real life, even though that'd be kind of cool, I guess. But more than anything else, this was a more of a testosterone shot, a steroid shot of more great action sequences, straight out and ripped from the comic book itself.
Yeah, I think it takes from the like great buddy cop films and ultimately deconstructs Tony Stark, and I think I remember the director saying this is taking Tony back to the cave in Iron Man 1 where he's stripped of everything he has and has to improvise and tinker and call upon the people around him like Rhodes and stuff like that to save the day. But what did you think about him and his panic attacks, his anxiety attacks? That was a new layer to Tony's dysfunction.
I think you kind of had hints of it in 2, but it really came to the surface and came out for us to deal with in 3. And it continues. I think that was really the first time I really thought of it as, okay, this can go on both sides of the aisle for both comedy and drama within an action and adventure movie, because it really had to deal with this charisma that he's trying to wrestle with, or the lack thereof, with this whole, what am I supposed to be? Why do things always fall apart around me? And I liked that. It was certainly a plus, but it wasn't the thing that kept bringing me back to see this movie again and again.
See, I really enjoyed. I think I've been saying all along that Marvel does a really good job with its character, like Thor and Tony Stark. They're really rich and they keep getting more complex as I go. And I loved. I don't know why I was surprised at this, but I loved how this followed directly from Avengers and that his near-death experience literally impacted him and is still impacting him. And someone that's dealt with anxiety, like, you're not in control of it. It's like not your personality,
No.
and then it just shows up.
Right.
And he experiences that. I've heard people claim that this portion in his character in this film is so cliche and stereotypical just to add quote-unquote depth. I didn't see it that way. I thought it was very realistic. And this is a man that, despite all the technology, all the stuff he's good at, he still cannot cope, right?
Correct.
It's not good enough. And since the shrapnel that went into his chest and threatens his life in Iron Man 1, he's been using technology to cope, and that's no longer working. And what happens at the end of this film? At the end of the film, he takes it all out, right? And you're like, whoa, so is he Iron Man anymore? Well, now he really is because he's choosing to be it. He doesn't need the technology anymore, but he's choosing to use it
Correct.
in the next films, right? So there's some really interesting growth for our main character that I just feel like people ignore that kind of rich development that we have
Right.
for this guy.
And I think it kind of leaves us still answering or trying to figure out an answer to the question: does Tony Man?
Tony Man.
Does Tony Man? Ha 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 ha! Wow, boy, Alex, you just decided to put your foot so far down your throat that you're just continuing eating toenail clippings the rest of your days.
Ooh,
No,
ooh, that sounds painful when it
was
comes
bad.
out.
That was bad. That was painful to hear, Tony Man. Is Tony Stark Iron Man, or is Iron Man Tony Stark? Does the man make the suit, or does the suit make the man? That sort of like balance of who is more important, and can Tony exist without Iron Man, and can Iron Man exist without Tony?
Well, I think before Tony Stark was so fragile and not a complete person, he couldn't survive without the arc reactor and the Iron Man persona. Now he can. He chucks that original heart away, with where his mansion fell down under the cliff, and we're left like,
Such a nice Malibu mansion too.
I know, I'd take it. But that goes to show: don't tell the terrorists where you live.
Yeah, right. 123 Spooner Street. Anyway, but yeah, how it blends into the Infinity War, we kind of just went into that a little bit. This is post Avengers, seeing how Tony deals with his own mortality, and then making that decision that he needs to effectively remove the shrapnel from himself and make himself less on the edge and deal with the mortality in a more traditional way, I guess. Again, not that having shrapnel in your chest is traditional by any sense, but at the same time, understanding that there will be an end to all this, you will not be able to stop it. But until then, you can continue to improve upon yourself and make yourself the best that you can be.
And that doesn't just rely on your technology and engineering skills.
Right. It may
Although
help with others, yeah.
when we go into the next installment in Ultron, he's back at it again, trying to use technology to solve problems and deal with his guilt.
Right.
Which, here comes a shameless plug, on the YouTube channel, Completing the Shelf, please find a 2-part video essay on Iron Man and why he should die.
You keep telling us that, but that would make me very sad.
No, I like Tony Stark. I don't want him to die because I hate him, but I think it would be a fitting completion to his arc as a character.
I understand.
If they do it right.
I understand.
So
kind of connecting all the pieces to the puzzle together. Again, we see that this is just we pick up right where we left off after the Avengers movie ended. We are through our shawarma hangover of sorts, back in California, and just trying to pick up the pieces. No one knows what the bill to New York City was, of course, for all that damage. But let's not worry about that. Let's just go straight back to California and continue.
Well, we see that picked up in Spider-Man: Homecoming. The
right.
fallout of
we will discuss that in a few weeks. We have time.
Yeah.
We
Yes,
have
we
time. Now we get to the more meaningful part of our show, where in recent weeks you've seen us give away some information, maybe.
Oops.
About ratings that we haven't even talked about to you or hadn't before you watched the episode.
Well, honestly, Alex, I figure this is a podcast, so people just kind of turn it on and don't watch the screen because there's not much going on the screen.
Yeah, you don't get to see our beautiful faces, thank God. I mean, what?
Yeah, I mean, we could put up other Chris's. We could just
Oh,
put the
yes.
faces of other Chris's.
Yeah, you could
And,
put
and Alex Trebek.
you could put either him or Robert Downey Jr. as me. I'm okay with either one, but more appropriately, maybe Alex Trebek could be, I guess, more accurate.
Yeah. No, so are we gonna shelf this?
I think we're
ready
going
to
to shelf
shelf?
this. Again, when we look at this kind of in the history of all things in time and space, this was Disney's first time releasing a Marvel Cinematic Universe film, mind you.
Oh, okay.
Yes. The Avengers, when you looked at that back in 2012, when it was released, it was not put out by Mickey Mouse. This was a film that was released by Paramount Pictures.
Gotcha.
And then Bob Iger wised up and said, I need that. I'm gonna buy that, and I'm gonna make a
I
very
want one.
financial.
We
about the
need
whole-
Tony Man.
Yes, we need Tony Man. That's probably what Mickey said. Not officially. That
Wait,
or
Mickey Rourke? Mickey Rourke?
no, not that Mickey
Oh.
Man.
Yeah, we're done with that. We're done with that. So where are you shelving this? Because I think this is a tricky one to shelf for me.
For me, this belonged on my top shelf, and I didn't have a lot of problems putting it on my top shelf just because of the one of the last few fight scenes for me when Tony brings in so many of the previous iterations of Iron Man, Eeyore, Red Snapper, just so many of the inventive names and so many modifications. He's just like, he has an Iron Man army. Oh my God, that's so cool!
The Hulkbuster.
Yes. So many cool Iron Man modifications and variations. It's just like, okay, this is amazing. I need to see this every day. I want to have an Iron Man army one day. Please, 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 can I have an Iron Man army? So it's a top shelf film for me, but it teeters towards falling towards the second shelf. I'm not going to lie. It certainly could have itself replaced very, very quickly over recent weeks, depending on films that might be coming out soon. Hint, hint.
For me, I agree with you. The climactic battle in this on the oil rig where he's jumping in and out of Iron Man's suits is so entertaining and complexly choreographed. I love every moment of that, except for Lava People.
Yes.
The thing that ruins the movie for me is, again, the villains. And they're become cliche. I really love how we go back to the past and see old, arrogant Tony and him, snuffing Adrian Killian, and then Killian going off and creating AIM, which is a good old Marvel bad guy organization, kind of like Hydra. But so that's cool, nerdy stuff. But when he becomes bad and all the people are glowing and spewing fire and stuff, it's cool to look at, but really cheesy and hurts the rewatch value for me. I mean, I feel like I couldn't go to someone that's not a comic book fan and say, watch this movie, you'll love it. That will hurt it for them.
Let me ask you a question then, because I feel like we may have to end up telling ourselves, well, this could be a problem. You have to remind yourself that with the comic books, normally it wasn't a thought to do back in the day a series of them in some ways, that you just had this one new episode to the story and this one new entry that maybe didn't carry on a villain from time to time. So they had to make him easily forgettable and not easily defeatable, but defeatable in some way, shape, or form.
Sure.
Do you think there's any truth to that as to why the villains are a little lacking?
Huh. So they have to be unremarkable so they don't carry on?
Correct.
Interesting. I don't know. Spider-Man 2, the original Spider-Man, with Tobey Maguire, directed by Sam Raimi.
Yep.
Doc Ock in there is amazing character, from design to acting to everything.
Yeah.
And he holds up on rewatch. Even though it could be cartoony, I feel like the core emotional human heart of that character is something that's real.
Yes,
So
he is
it
real. He is
grounds
Alfred
that.
Molina. That's right.
Yeah. So, yeah, but he seems like a real character, on screen.
Mm-hmm.
So, but this Adrian Killian just seems like a bad guy, and then it's amped up when he's glowing and spewing fire, right? Of course, I love Pepper Potts being some hot pepper there, too. But for me, because of everything I just said, despite the awesome buddy cop, the Tony out of the suit inventing little weapons from Walmart, the kid doesn't bother me. I love that. And the panic attacks, all of that is great. But this is a 2-shelf movie for me because, again, weak villain that is cartoonish and not entertaining and predictable.
You are the Captain Spock to my Han Solo.
There you go.
Okay. We have finally disagreed, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, I think we disagreed. Didn't we disagree on one?
I don't know.
I guess not. Yeah, it comes. It's finally there.
I am at 1. He is at a second shelf rating on Iron Man 3. Well, We really, I think, have found ourselves now getting into this point where we are getting deeper and deeper into more of the morals and the scruples of these characters more and more. You're going to see that with some of our upcoming videos dealing with sequels and newer iterations of characters like Thor, Captain America, another Avengers movie. But then we're going to jump into other films that you did not expect to have such amazing impacts, but now are just part of our modern kind of lexicon of what is an amazing, not just great action movie, but a great movie nonetheless.
Guardians.
Yes, that is the one that comes to mind. So definitely some videos to look forward to as we continue over the next few weeks. But yeah,
And hey,
we
Alex,
yeah,
we are in phase 2 now of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So this is cool. We're in the second part of Marvel's plan. Kevin Feige taking us forward. We're going to go into phase 3 and wrap it up with Infinity War, and who knows what is in store in phase 4.
Now, I want folks to be aware. Don't think that because we have, over the last 3 weeks, conveniently ignored the fact that the Black Panther has been in theaters and has blown our pants off. Don't worry, folks. We're going to discuss this. But again, we have to do this in a chronological order. We can't just stop in the middle and talk and be like, "Oh my God, Black Panther, go see it!" Because
we've seen it already.
Yes, to this point To this point, you know that it's amazing. You've probably seen our social media be like, "Okay, it's amazing. Go watch it."
So next week, join us on the road to infinity.
Yes. Please give us your feedback in the comment section below, or in the comment section wherever you may find this shared to your social mediums. Tweet us. He is at Shelf Nerds. I am at Alex_Salvo. But we will see you next time, as Chris mentioned, on the road to the Infinity War.